What's up, everybody? We are now into day 3 of Season 3 of Warzone Pacific and Vanguard. Yesterday, I put out a video on the M1916 Marksman Rifle. I will link that down in the description if you haven't checked that out already. But today, we're talking about the new Nikita AVT AR. It's another gun. I don't really know if it's really worth your time. I think if you're looking for a long-range weapon, it's not really worth your time. It's decent in the mid-range, but it's got an awkward recoil pattern, and it has what feels like the old school Vanguard weapon visual recoil. It feels like it just has a lot of visual recoil, more than the other Vanguard weapons after they changed that. And then on top of that, the attachments don't really make sense. When we go through the loadout, I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more, but the attachments don't really make a whole lot of sense. They, like the recoil, just an example, the recoil booster doesn't increase rate of fire. But with that all being said, I'll jump over to sim.gg to show you some stats, and then I'll show you both the best-ish range loadout as well as a sniper support loadout, and I think the sniper support is more where this weapon shines. So let's go jump over to sim.gg, and then we'll come back to Warzone. Okay, so here we have the two loadouts. The orange is the range build. The green is the SMG sniper support build, which will probably improve once the attachments are fixed. So if you see, this is for, here, let me switch back over to the range build. The range build does 33 to the head, so on Rebirth, that is 9 shots required. Is it 8? No, it's 8 shots required to the head, and then on Caldera, it's 10 shots to the head, which already makes it not that competitive. That's up to the 42.7 meter range when it drops off. Inside of 42, if you hit, that's for neck shots. If you hit just chest shots, inside of, what is that, 42 meters, it has a 630 millisecond TTK, which is actually very competitive. It's right in the viable range. And so it's decent there. It works there. But it's got that awkward recoil pattern, a lot of visual recoil, and so it's not really easy to shoot once you're starting to get towards that range. You're much better off with using the Cold War weapons or whatever. And then the SMG sniper support build does 630 milliseconds, and I'll show you a good comparison in just a second. And so that's decent at range, and it's not super competitive up close. You're going to get destroyed by a lot of SMGs. But now that we're moving towards heavier snipers, which sniper video coming tomorrow or Sunday probably. It's better, in my opinion, to have a good AR support over an SMG, whereas you could use the car. You can still use the car close range, but so you can see it's decent TTK. It's decent, not great, not horrible. It's decent TTK. And then I was just talking about the sniper support build, and so we have it compared to my favorite sniper support here. That's the AK. The AK is in green. The Nikita is in orange. If you just go chest shots, the Nikita does lose out. Until the first AK drop off, the AK does drop off first. And it's 30 milliseconds, which isn't huge, but, you know, it's a bullet or two. And then inside that little range, the Nikita does beat out the AK. And then they're about 56 milliseconds to infinity different. So it's comparable to the AK. If you hit chest shots, if you hit headshots, the gap is a little bit bigger. Neck shots, they're about even until that first drop off of the AK. And then there's that small window of the Nikita being better, and then they're pretty similar. They're within 30 milliseconds. So it's comparable to the AK, which is my favorite sniper support usually. I think it's a good sniper support to mix things up. I still think the Cold War AK is a little bit better, but it is fun to kind of mix things up. So I think it really does play more of a sniper support role, but we'll go ahead and jump over to Warzone. I'll show you the range loadout, and then we'll get into the sniper support loadout. Okay, so now we are over in Warzone. Side note, I wouldn't have this thing gold if they didn't make the challenge 100 times getting 5 kills without dying instead of 30, but because I got like 40 right now. So it's the usual MX silencer. We're not as worried about aim down sight sprint to fire because this is going to be for our range build. Then we go with the Empress 613. We go with the long barrel formula just like Modern Warfare, and that gives you the best recoil control, damage range, and bullet velocity. The rapid barrel is one of the attachments I talked about that doesn't do what it normally does. The damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control penalties are kind of accurate, but it's a rapid barrel that doesn't increase your rate of fire, despite in the description it says barrel modifications increase rate of fire. That's not true right now. Sim.gg, who data mines their data, does not have an increase in the rate of fire, nor is it in the description. And you can try the sniper barrel, the precision barrel. I tried both of them. The recoil control felt the best with the Empress 613. And so I would recommend the 613 barrel. Under barrel, your preference of Carver or hand stop. The hand stop does help horizontal recoil more, and this has kind of like an awkward S pattern. So definitely recommend the hand stop here. But the foregrip does increase overall recoil control better, but the hand stop doesn't hurt your ADS. So I go with the hand stop. Magazine, you do get a slightly better TTK with the 30.6 rounds. It's only slightly better, but you don't get as much ammo as the 45 round mags, and you get more recoil. So that's not really ideal. And then the 6.5 Sakura 55 round drums, you do get less recoil and you do get 10 more rounds, but it hurts your damage range, your movement speed, and your bullet velocity. So the TTK is like the exact same with worse bullet velocity. 10 more rounds is nice, but you do get even more movement speed penalty. So we go with the 45 round mags. And then you go ammunition, good old lengthen. I did want to point out, I pointed out the barrel not working. As you can see, the recoil booster, I forgot to point that out, does not increase rate of fire, despite it supposedly increasing the rate of fire on every other gun. Optic is your choice, either the 2.5 times X or the 3 to 6 times X is the best optic. It's just preference, whatever you want. Polymer grip for range against accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Stock, the best one is going to be the Empress Notch. It gives you overall recoil control. It does hurt your movement speed and sprint to fire speed, but it is our range weapon, so I'm not too worried about that. The Empress AVT helps initial firing recoil, but it hurts during sustained fire, so it's not really great at range. The folding stock does help movement speed, sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed, but it hurts aiming stability and recoil stabilization, so not great. The Zach MS hurts movement speed, hip fire accuracy, aim down sight speed. Put aim down sight speed twice. These attachments are really screwed up. Does help horizontal recoil. And then the Zach padded hurts initial fire and recoil, and then just helps all your movement speeds. So you want to pick either the Notch or the MS, because the MS does help that horizontal recoil control, but it hurts all your movement speeds. So I go with the I really think it's preference. The Empress Notch felt better to me. And then perk 1, go Brace or Perfectionist, but I didn't want the flinch resistance being hurt, so I went with Brace. And then perk 2, either on hand, because it helps your ADS apparently, or fully loaded. As range, so I'd rather run fully loaded. And then for the sniper support build, instead of MX silencer, I go with the Mercury suppressor, Mercury silencer. You lose the vertical recoil range and the damage range, but this is our sniper support build, so I'm not as worried about that. I'd rather not hurt my ADS when I have to use the sniper support. And then because the rapid barrel doesn't increase fire, I go with the short barrel. I don't know why that hurts your movement speed. It apparently does, but it helps your damage range and your bullet velocity, but it also helps your ADS and sprint to fire speed. So I switch that to the short barrel. I keep the hand stop, and then your choice of close. You can do the 2.5 times here or one of the close optics. I prefer the slate. And then instead of polymer, I went with fabric because the ADS speed and sprint to fire speed recoil is not going to be as important when you're up close with people. Stick with the 45 round mags, lengthened, and then instead of Empress Notch, either run the folding, which helps your movement speed, sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed, or the Zach padded. I liked the folding stock a little bit better. Yeah, I think it was the folding stock that I was running with it. And then Brace once again. Either do Brace or Fleet. And then here's where you might really want to go on hand for the aim down sight speed, but I just kept it as fully loaded and it seemed to aim down sight fast enough. And that's your sniper support SMG build. I really think that's where the weapon more shines. Like I said, for a few things, it's going to come down to feel, like the short barrel versus the short barrel versus the rapid barrel. When the rapid barrel increases rate of fire, I would go with that. And same thing with the recoil booster. I'd switch to the recoil booster when it increases rate of fire. But because it doesn't do that, the suppressor gives you bullet velocity as well as sound suppression and horizontal recoil control. And then either the folding stock or the padded stock. Really up to you. And then either Brace or Fleet, like I said. So it's really kind of up to you. It's really a feel thing. With that all being said, I appreciate any watch time. If you watched through the whole video, you just clicked through it, just came to the end to see loadouts. I appreciate any watch time at all. I also appreciate any interaction on the video, so please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Like I said, I do have a planned sniper video coming up. Also, let me know down below what you think of this weapon. I'm okay on it. I'm probably going to run a sniper support just for fun for now, but it's nothing great. It's not anything special. I don't think it's really worth your time. But that all being said, like I said, I will have the M1916 video linked down below, as well as sim.gg, and as usual, all of my social medias. So please feel free to check all of that out, but I will see you on Rebirth Island and Caldera. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.